White House doubling down on notoriously brutal MS-13 gang members, with the president calling them animals. Numerous media outlets took the president's comments out of context yesterday and suggested that President Trump was referring to all illegal immigrants. President Trump took to Twitter on the matter earlier this morning, writing this: "Fake news media had me calling immigrants or illegal immigrants animals. Wrong. They were begrudgingly forced to withdraw their stories. I referred to MS-13 gang members as animals. A big difference, and so true. Fake news got it purposely wrong, as usual." House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi and White House Press Secretary squared off yesterday over the president's comments.
Along comes another manifestation of why their policies are so inhumane. Calling people animals is not a good thing.
This is one of the most vicious and deadly gangs that operates by the motto of rape, control, and kill. If the media and liberals want to defend MS-13, they're more than welcome to. Frankly, I don't think the term that the president used was strong enough.
Joining us right now is the former senior advisor to the Clintons. It's the Stagwell Group president and managing partner. Also the author of Microtrends Squared, Mark Penn. Mark, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Morning.
Well, I mean, Nancy Pelosi likes to conflate and mix things up, saying that this means that the Republicans have inhumane policies. What's your take on this? What's she talking about?
Look, I think this is a one-hour story, but I think trying to defend MS-13 members is probably a losing proposition. What happened here is the president said something that was taken out of context. Most importantly, the Associated Press retracted their tweet, which said that they really sided with the White House. Pelosi should just quietly let this story die and back out of it. Otherwise, I think the White House is going to win one. And she looks like somebody who's almost a dingbat defending MS-13 members.
Yeah, but the bigger issue is that she's doing this, getting it out there into the ether, getting everybody to talk about it. And in doing so, it confuses people. And people are not sure what the president meant. So it's wrong, Lee.
I don't think this is going to be a one-hour story. I think this is going to be something that we're going to hear over and over again. This is going to be her new crumbs comment. I think it was a big mistake. I'm curious, though, Mark, one of the questions that a lot of people have is, what is the Democrat message going to be going forward? Because we hear that they got together last week. We're talking about the fact that they need to have a message that's not just resist and not just criticizing the president like Nancy Pelosi just did. Do you think that there's going to be a story coming out, a better narrative?
Yeah, look, I think it's been pretty clear since Michael Avenatti and Stormy Daniels dominated the news that the Democratic wave has shrunk to maybe still a Democratic edge. And so I think Democrats are seeing that, and they're going to go back to health care, equality. I think that they continue to fight immigration on the other side. I think you're going to see them reformulate a message and say, hey, we need a better, more ethical, moral America where everybody can get health care, and the Republicans are bankrupt in that sense. I do think you'll see the Democrats coalescing around a better message. Whether they'll actually get it out over all this impeachment noise, that is uncertain.
But, Mark, it's Dagan McDowell. I'll argue that this issue of President Trump calling the MS-13 gang animals, it's not a one-hour story for one reason. Because if you're going to preach ethics and preach morality, then you can't get caught lying to the American people, trying to hoodwink the American people, and shoehorn what Trump said about this violent gang into the Democrats' narrative that he's unhinged and that he hates all immigrants. And even when caught, even after AP deleted that tweet and corrected it, you still had Senator Chuck Schumer, for an example, going out there and pushing that narrative of immigrants are animals, according to Trump. Even the New York Times didn't correct it. And so when they got caught, now they get into this issue of, well, they're human beings. These people, these violent gang members who behead people and stab teenagers and mutilate teenagers, they're really human beings.
Well, what did John Harwood say? They're people too, Dagan.
They're human beings, is what John Harwood said.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't want to be on the side of saying let's not dehumanize MS-13 members. My point to you is people are so skeptical of news, politicians, and charges and countercharges. They're really going to wind up focusing on the issues of the economy, of health care, of education, right, of equality. I think that these fights like this nobody's really a winner. It just takes up oxygen. Like I said, I'd give the White House the plus on this, but it's not going to make a difference. People already have their sides when it comes to stuff like this.
But you don't think that this is going to be played over and over and over again, and it's
like
going
to
like the crumbs comment, like the basket full of deplorables comment that Hillary Clinton made? You don't think this is going to be one of those moments where it's like, are you serious?
No, I don't really think it's going to rise to this. I think Pelosi's going to look to quietly back out of this thing, you know, reaffirm that she's opposed to MS-13 members, and life moves on. You know, hey, we're going into a weekend. By Monday, this thing will be gone.
Yeah, this is Mitch Russia. I'll take the over on that one, by the way.
I'm with you.
But, Mark, I sort of reflect on the famous comment, it's the economy stupid. And going into the midterms, very possibly the market will be up. The economy could be growing at plus 3%. Will the economy be the biggest issue in the midterms, or will it be all of this nonsense?
Well, look, I think there'll be a real battle on economy. Most voters, when you ask them in the Harvard-Harris poll, health care is the #1 issue. Democrats so far haven't exploited that, I think, as strongly as they could. I think keep your eye on working-class voters. Are they sticking with Republicans and Trump? Keep your eye on independent women. Are they really the swing vote in the election? They have swung decisively against Trump and are probably the biggest problem out there.